welcome back to my channel. It's your girl star Lexis, and I am back again with another entrepreneur video. If you are new here, welcome. If you're a regular, what it do? Make sure I hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any future uploads, lives, or anything like that. Make sure you guys check the description box for all links and information mentioned in this video. Important links, PO box information, business shout out information, how to join my channel and become a member, so much more. Everything will be located in the description box. So if you guys have seen the title, then you already know what this video is about. Before we get into the tips, today's video is sponsored by hatchcard.com. Today, I'm going to give you guys just a few tips that I personally use myself to manage my business finances. Sometimes when you're managing your business finances yourself, it can become very, very overwhelming. So it's not going to be a lot listed. The tips that I will provide you guys with in this video will be very useful, especially for someone just starting off. So we're going to jump straight into the video. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to keep your personal and your business finances separate. That is like a super important part when it comes to managing your finances, especially when it comes to tax time as well. So me personally, I keep everything completely separate. As far as my business has its own PayPal account, my personal has its own PayPal account, my business has its own business bank account, and my personal has its own bank account, and so much more. So if I have Square, PayPal, Cash App, everything else, every payment option, every type of account possible, they all have their own separate account. They are not under the same thing, so that my money does not get confused or mistaken for something that it's not. So another reason to keep your personal and business finances separate is because if you are going to a CPA or someone to do your taxes, sometimes they do request your bank statements, and if your bank statements has a mixture of personal and business expenses on there, it can become very confusing, and it's hard to pinpoint what purchases for the entire year were specifically for your business. Keeping my personal and my business finances separate made a huge difference in how easy the tax filing process was for me, because I used to just do everything out of one account, and it just was very confusing and hard to keep up with. When you got to the point where it was time to file the taxes and you had to go through the transactions, find the expenses and things like that. So I definitely, like I said, recommend that you guys keep them completely separate so that you know what is what. I mean, that's the simplest way to say it. Make sure so that you know what is what. It's easy to find what you spent, it's easy to know what purchase is what, and it makes tax time so much easier to go through. For my personal, my business account, I usually have like a personal and business account at each bank that I use. I have several different bank accounts for different uses and for my different businesses. I have talked to you guys about getting your business banking accounts, and sometimes when you do not have your EIN number or all the papers that you need from your state, they will not allow you to do so. Sometimes that process is really hard to obtain a business bank account depending on the state. So you guys heard me in the beginning when I said this video is sponsored by Hatch. So I want to introduce Hatch to you guys for the people who are just starting off, or just you've had a business for a while and you've been doing your business strictly out of a personal account and you want to have a business banking account. So Hatch is basically a platform for small business owners, entrepreneurs, depending on what you're using the account for, basically to have your own business checking account. So Hatch's business checking account is specifically designed for small business owners. When you decide to sign up and bank with Hatch, there are no NSF fees, which is basically the non-sufficient funds fees. If you have a regular bank account, you've seen this before. If you don't have a certain amount in your account, they will charge you a fee, so none of those. And then also you receive 5% cash back on gas, restaurants, car rentals, and then discounts on business software like Square, Yelp, and Indeed. I will place a link in the description box so that you guys can go ahead and sign up. If you click the link in the description box, you have the chance to get a 1-year free trial starting your business banking with Hatch. So just a couple small other details with Hatch. There is no minimum balance that you have to have in your account. Another thing that normal banks usually charge you a fee for, if you don't have a specific amount that they request in your account at all times, they will charge you a fee. With Hatch, there's no NSF fees, there's no minimum balance requirements or replacement card fees. You are also offered unlimited amount of ATM withdrawals within their global network. When it comes to the business software, just a small example of some of the perks that you get with the card. You can get a $500 Yelp ad credit, so you can run ads on Yelp, $5,000 credit in processing fees with Square, and 50% off of QuickBooks. And QuickBooks is also a good way to manage your business finances as well. These are just a couple of the perks that Hatch offers with banking with them. In order to see the rest of the offered perks, you can head over to the website through the link in the description box. Before we go on to the next tip, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how you can send money also from your business banking account with Hatch. You're able to send money through ACH, bill pay, or send checks directly from your Hatch dashboard. Click the link in the description box and get started with your business banking with Hatch. The next tip that I have for you guys is to keep up with all of the money that you have going out of your business. So whether it be your monthly Shopify fee, you're paying for an app that you use for your business, all of that, you want to make sure that you have track of all of that, whether it's a subscription to something. And my recommendation for that is an app called Truebill. I have Truebill on my phone for my personal and my business finances. Truebill keeps up with all of my spending habits, all of my subscriptions, all of my bills, everything that comes out monthly. Truebill literally sends me alerts, and it's like, you have 3 bills due this week on this date, this date, this date. You are able to set a budget for yourself, and they will let you know if you went over your budget. It's just a very helpful, and sometimes I get alerts and it's like, yeah girl, you spent $500 last week, or yeah, you spent $1,100 last week. That's 29% more than what you normally spend. So it definitely keeps me in check. And when it comes to transactions on my cards, all of my bank accounts are connected to that. And sometimes it detects a transaction that's not a normal type of transaction through my bank accounts. It will let me know and say there's an uncategorized transaction, and then I can go into the app, see what that transaction was, and it just basically helps me keep up with my money flow and what's going out and what's coming in. Also, it shows me what's coming in as well. It'll say, woohoo, you got paid today. So Truebill is actually one of my favorite apps thus far that I've ever tried when it comes to keeping up with all of my finances. And they also give suggestions on how to lower your monthly spending rate. So it'll say, maybe try looking through your subscriptions. What subscriptions can you do without, and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool, and you guys should download it. It's probably, I know it's available on iPhones, but I'm not sure if it's available on Androids, but you guys are more than welcome to check. So with just going hand in hand with knowing everything that's going out of your business account, you want to make sure that you write down everything. So me personally, I have a calendar on my wall in my room, and basically I have written down every month what is what, when is this gonna come out, how much it's gonna cost me, and everything like that, so that I know if I look at today's date, I'm like, okay, my credit card payment is due. I even have my credit card statement dates on there as well. I have my billing dates, my credit card statements, the actual day that the payment is due, and so much more, so that I just feel like I'm keeping up with everything. It's easier to manage when you can actually see it on a piece of paper. So I told you that Truebill does keep up with all of your bills and stuff like that, but sometimes it's easier to remember and easier to understand and easier when you can actually see it, like I said, on a piece of paper. So make sure y'all are writing down everything that you have due or coming up for your business. So the next tip that I have for you guys is to print everything. Print all of your receipts. So when you're buying, whether it be from Alibaba, AliExpress, any vendor, you're paying any money to Uline or really anything you're buying for your business, you need to print out the receipts and keep it in some type of folder. So I have this folder here. This folder has majority of my receipts for everything that I've ever purchased for my business, and I keep it just in case, you know, you never know, the banks may go down, you never know, you may not be able to access your bank statements or whatever the case may be. But if all else fails, you'll always have all your receipts and invoices and everything in hand. And sometimes, depending on who you get your taxes done by, they don't want bank statements. They want everything that you ever put your money out for printed out, so that they can go through and add all that up to do your profit and loss sheet. So, and then, you know, if you ever want to go through to check how much you paid for a certain thing, or to compare prices or anything of that nature, you have it all printed out and on hand. You won't have to go online and try to find your receipt, check your email, find the invoice and stuff like that. It's just so that all your stuff is in one place, because, you know, with the world we live in now, a lot of our stuff is digital and we don't really get paper receipts and paper invoices. So having that stuff on hand, you literally never know what you may come across or what you may need it for. So it's just very important to keep that stuff on hand, so that if you ever need it, you know you'll have it. And then lastly, for managing your overall business finances, is to don't forget to pay yourself. I don't know why I feel like I need to say this, but don't forget to pay yourself. A lot of people, I've heard a lot of stories about you know, businesses making money, businesses, you know, doing great, generating profit and stuff like that, but people are forgetting to actually pay themselves. Yes, we started a business, you know, some of us started a business to help others, to make people feel empowered. Whatever the mission is behind your business, you started it for that reason. But let's not forget that you started a business to also create another stream of income. If you're not paying yourself, then how are you creating another stream of income? You just have a business to have a business, basically. So my advice to you guys is to pick your percent. That's the way that I do everything for my business. Everything has a percentage. So let's say I'll pay myself every 2 weeks from my business. So I will calculate everything that I made and everything that needs to go back into the business. And then after that, let's say I give myself 20% of whatever it is that is left from the profit. That's how I'm going to pay myself. And I'm going to write a check out to myself, my personal name and to my personal account. And I'm going to pay myself through my business. So I am now employed by One Collection LLC, for an example. So yeah, you guys want to make sure that you are, or if you want to do a certain money amount or just a set rate that you want to pay yourself, if you want to pay yourself hourly for how many hours you put into the business for the past 2 weeks, or if you want to do, you pay yourself monthly. You want to figure out what you want your rate to be and make sure you are paying yourself, because either some people are not paying themselves, or they are making money from the business and then just spending it however they want to spend it. And honestly, that is not the smartest, especially because, you know, at the end of the year, businesses do have dues and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you're paying yourself, have a savings account for your business, putting money aside for taxes and stuff like that, emergency money, and so much more. The next one is to pay your taxes quarterly. That goes for sales tax and just overall taxes for your business. So quarterly, that is going to be 4 times a year. You can set that up. I don't know how it goes for every state, but I know that for Texas and other states, if you're not sure, you can try Googling it. Google your state name and comptroller, comptroller. And usually the comptroller office will tell you everything you need to know about what you owe for your business. So I have an account for all of my businesses on the Texas Comptroller website, so I can go on there to the Comptroller website and pay my sales tax and my taxes quarterly. So at the end of the year, I'm not owing the state a huge amount of money because sometimes that can be overwhelming when you owe a lot at the end of the year. But if you are a business and you are collecting taxes, which you should be, I do recommend that you pay that quarterly, so that is a huge weight lifted off of your shoulders. Yeah, so that pretty much concludes my tips for managing your business finances. So remember to keep your business and your personal finances separate. If you do not have a business banking account and you need somewhere to start your business banking account, feel free to check out the link in the description box to connect with Hatch. Next is to keep up with all of your money going out. Write down everything that's going to come out, the billing dates, and so much more. Next, to print your receipts for everything, your receipts, your invoices. Keep all of that, print it out, even if they send you a digital copy in the email and that's all you have. Make sure that you're printing that out and putting that in your safe keep folder. Next is, don't forget to pay yourself, and then lastly is to pay your taxes quarterly. Now that I've given you guys all of the gems, you guys need to apply them to your businesses, and let me know if you learned something today in the comment section down below. If you guys love these sit down and talk videos where I give you guys tips, let me know what you guys want to see next from me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys subscribe before you head out, and I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. Mwah.